All right, we'll call the meeting, last meeting of 2015. It's hard to believe. Here already. Actually, it says officially December 21st. I'd entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of November 16th, 2015.
Move to be approved with a minor amendment.
Mr. Sprackman moves, I will second. Any further discussion regarding those minutes? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Sprackman?
Yes.
Mr. Meacher?
Yes. Now I entertain a motion, excuse me, to pay, what the heck? Bills in the amount of, these are combined, the
Right.
December 7th meeting
Mm-hmm.
and this evening's meeting, so these numbers are combinations of two. I'll just read the totals. Total payment of $80,687.83, broken down. General fund, $12,348.51. Fire fund, $42,393.66. Cemetery, $6,289.64. The EMS billing, $9,042.36. Road and bridge, $10,641.05. Is that a motion?
Move to be approved.
Mr. Sprackman moves, I will second that. Is any further discussion regarding payment of these accounts? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Meacher? Mr. Sprackman?
Yes.
Thank you. Correspondence, and this is correspondence for 2 periods. So we've got a
Maybe you could just mention the highlights.
pretty good list.
Well, there's too a lot.
Happy holidays from Spoon. Email from the Ohio Cemetery Association regarding new president for 2016. These are the highlights. I'm not going through everything. Email from the U.S. Census Bureau about contact information for the annual updates that they do on boundaries and something or another, which is taken care of for us by our regional planning office in Greene County, which is part of the service that they provide for the contribution that we make on a yearly basis. That's an aging newsletter. Oh yeah, we did receive a letter from Greene County Engineer Bob Geyer, and he is going to, on his own dime, audit all the license plate registrations for Greene County. And I don't recall, do you recall for what period of time?
No, but I know that we personally,
Yeah, we did
Township
that.
personally did that,
A while ago.
yeah, years ago, and did find some corrections that
Yeah,
were made,
okay.
so it's worthy doing.
So he's gonna go through all of those for the collective us in Greene County, and we'll see what comes from that. What happens is, as I recall, people will go to make their, to get their new plate registration. And I don't know if there's a check mark on the application or what.
It's been so long since I've done
Well,
it.
a lot of times what happens is they'll say, well, actually they live in the unincorporated area of Miami Township. Because their mailing address is Yellow Springs, they will put in error, they'll say, live in Yellow Springs as opposed to, the unincorporated area. And so then Yellow Springs will get the $5 that's included in the price of the registration instead of the township. Didn't amount to a whole lot, but I'm not really sure, but anything that we get is more than we had, so good enough. So, thank you, Bob Geyer. We have an inquiry to the Attorney General's, the local attorney, prosecuting attorney's office regarding a potential, or not a potential, but a mandated pay increase for public officials in 2016. Have we heard it back from her yet? Not yet.
No, but as it turns out, that first paycheck that will include a raise won't be
till February.
So
Right.
I did kind of say to her,
Yeah.
actually, it's not an emergency,
Yeah.
she gets time.
Shouldn't say that.
Yeah, probably
Well, I didn't want her to think she had to ruin her holidays, because I'm bugging her.
not. We received an interesting message from her on another subject about the appropriateness or the ability, I guess, for public offices, public, anybody, employers.
Anybody, specifically public employers
Yeah.
whose staff deals with either adult, seniors or children, a vulnerable population, basically.
Well, those are the only two instances where it's appropriate to ask now if
Right.
a potential applicant for employment is a felon.
Hmm.
So,
You can ask them about the felony, I think what you said. No, just
No.
whether or not they have a felony.
right,
So it's all about children or,
but if they are in a sensitive, if you're in a sensitive position, you then can ask.
Like this place.
okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is it already on the application? You guys do a background check and I'll find.
We do a background check and we've always asked if you have any history of felony convictions or misdemeanor sex offense, which was something that the prosecutor came up with 8 years ago for us.
Anyway, this is a clarification statewide on that issue.
Right.
Email from RPCC about a capstone project which hasn't even started yet, we won't worry about that. Interesting email from Ohio University, they're doing a study on road use maintenance agreements. That's 99% of the time done with areas that are involved with fracking. It's one of the very few areas that townships can have a regulation, any kind of police power regulation over fracking, oil drilling, and they can, in their roads they can restrict, the weight on the road or the width of traffic, those sorts of things. And by doing that, then a lot of this equipment can't go back and forth. So then what they do is then the drilling people are willing to enter into an agreement with the township for money to allow the additional, equipment and the weights and the
To
sizes.
repair what they throw.
Yeah, for payment. So apparently somebody at OU is doing a statewide study of that.
I don't think we're having any fracking around here.
Probably not. RPCC's November meeting agenda, Green County Public Health normal meetings, land trust newsletter, signage. Oh, I did, that's right, that was the meeting we didn't have. I sent a message to Josh Wallace, who was the man from ODOT that we met with Bob Geyer's office. And interesting enough, I was putting away correspondence, I was filing it for the year, and I did see a letter from Bob Geyer to Dan Gogenauer, addressed to here, inviting you to that meeting.
Yeah, because I didn't go to that meeting.
I know you.
You said I didn't need to go to that meeting. So.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight, you didn't really need to go to it, but it did hurt. Anyway, there were signs down, I think they're back up, but there's signs down at the corner of Meredith Road and 343, and there's signs down on 343 and 68.
Those aren't ours.
Not ours, but they're.
State, yes, both states.
But, it is in our township, and it is informing our residents or the people traveling through our township what should go where. So I asked him to do that, and he said he would, and I believe he has.
Yeah.
What about
I
that?
saw the
The one in
344
Meredith
was
was down,
replaced.
is it back up? 'Cause I knew the one.
What
in
about
Meredith
that
was
ditch
down.
goes
They
across
put it
South
back up.
68?
I don't know, I saw the 68.
Something about that?
Yeah, there was
On what?
3 guys lost strobe lights and
Where they dug up the culvert that goes across 68 in front of Piper's?
What about it?
It's about that far down in the ground.
Really?
Up here,
Yeah.
they
Fix it?
Dura patched that last week. The east side of the road had a drop in it right there. Just north of the
Well,
cemetery.
it was,
Just north of the cemetery is rough, because the west.
it's right across from where the sunflowers are.
Right, they filled that up last week with a Dura
Oh,
patch.
really?
They've been working on 343, and they went up there and brought that up.
Oh,
It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
The southbound lane was smooth, but the northbound lane.
Yeah, that's pretty-
Yeah, they went in there and topped it off, so
Off that
it's
big
better.
what did
Yes,
you want
they-
343?
They're
Complaining.
filling up some of the broken up areas with the Durapatcher, you know, it shoots out like a slurry mix and then shoots gravel and you can.
Oh, I was wondering, okay, I was wondering
You
what
can do a whole.
that gravel stuff was.
And the third sign, which hasn't been changed, I'm not sure if they have to order it, he didn't write me back, he wrote me back and said thank you for the information and that his sign people would be going out to it. But the third one I had mentioned to him was, the big fire truck in front of Peaches that's on a sign. The problem is, it's on a sign where it's a, whatever that form is.
Yield, with the yield sign?
Diamond or whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, there's the pointy part of it, and the whole sign is leaning, and the sign's only like 4 feet high. It's only like 4 to 5 feet off the ground, and it leans a little bit, and it leans over the sidewalk. And that sidewalk gets a lot of traffic. Now, obviously, you know, nobody's killed themselves running into the pointy end of that sign yet, but it just seems like something that could happen. And it's just interesting because not 25 feet further to the north is a sign that says, you know, bicycles can use full, whatever it is. And that sign, you know, that's like 8 feet above the ground, and it's not in anybody's way. So I asked him, you know, to do something about that too. But it hasn't been done yet, so maybe, I don't know what.
Is it theirs or the village?
I don't know. He didn't say. I asked him about the guardrail on the corner of 343 and 68 that's been crumpled a couple of times in the last few
That's the
years.
state's.
That's the village's, according to him.
Really? They
Same.
fixed it, didn't they? Weren't they down there working on it last week? Or were they just putting this mailbox in the other side back up?
Might have been just that. Mhm.
Yeah, maybe that's what they
Anyway. So.
We're so entertained.
Little Christmas elf back there. That was the
Baby
chair.
balls.
That was the chair, everybody. What? Okay, various emails back and forth about Channel 5's videos of our meetings. I'm working on, this thing not squeaking like crazy. I'm working on the potential of, and I haven't brought it to the board yet, just because I wasn't sure whether it's technically possible, but of putting these meetings, as entertaining as they are, on YouTube every week. And linking them to our website, and any other links we want to have. I mean, you can link them to, you know, yours or whatever. It apparently is doable, so once I run a test through it, and Channel 5 says, yeah, no problem at all, this is public domain, there's no copyright infringements, there's no contractual arrangements or anything, and she's been trying to explain to me what kind of files that they are, and it goes over my head, so I run it through my IT people. I have IT people.
By birth.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, hopefully at the next meeting, because I kind of wanted to start it, you know, just make a fresh start in 2016. It wasn't going to be archived, and it's not like we're going to have 10 years worth of meetings in there, because there's probably only one person, Mr. who would like to go back and, you know, review multiple meetings at any particular time. But what do you think about that as an idea, before I put much more work into this?
You mean, does that replace this?
No,
No.
this
This is
recording,
that's in addition to this?
yeah, this recording will be able to be
So
viewed.
what's the benefit of doing this?
The talent portion.
Public,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all over bounds.
The public will be able, see, only the people who subscribe to Time Warner Cable, only the residents of Village Yellow Springs who subscribe to Time Warner Cable can view this meeting, unless they go to the library.
Right.
Is it on Channel 5?
Yeah, but you have to have Time Warner Cable, and you have to live in the village to have cable,
Guarantee.
unless you're.
Well,
Time Warner Cable,
Didn't
everybody
they
on
used to,
Time Warner can watch it.
time goes by,
Yeah, but you
didn't
don't
they used to
just
have
like a
equipment?
Channel 5, this is local access channel.
The
You
cable?
can watch it.
Yeah, there's
See,
cable in a certain portion of the clip.
Senior center,
So there's cable there, I don't know if
we
there's,
work out,
Yeah, but I don't know if the local access channel is this one.
They used to be there, and I've talked to people from Springfield.
We watch it, we can watch it, I know some people out at Shawnee Lake could watch it, a couple people out there.
It's weird how that works, but this allows people anywhere to watch it.
Yeah, they subscribe, people at Shawnee Lake and Springfield subscribe to
Where's Shawnee Lake?
Time Warner.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me put in a little, let's bring it a little closer. Can you go home tonight and watch Channel 5 on your television?
I don't have cable.
There you go.
That's
But
the thing. If you don't have cable, you can't watch it. But now if we put it on YouTube,
Springfield and Shawnee Lake.
they have Time Warner cable.
Yeah, some of the places actually have multiple channels. I mean, you can watch like South Charleston Public Access or whatever.
So you just have to pay for having Time Warner cable, you don't have to subscribe to this channel.
Right.
Right.
This comes with.
But if you have AT&T Uverse or DirecTV like I do, then you don't get it. So I don't have the pleasure of rewatching it.
Right.
But this way, you would just go to, you would just go to the
Right.
internet. You know, that,
So I
that funny thing.
go
that's-
to the internet and
It's
look
eggnog
at
till we
it
get
during
it,
the
don't
meeting.
we?
You could watch it during the meeting if you'd like to.
I mean,
No, it wouldn't be
somebody
live.
else could watch it,
Not live.
No.
No, these are not live streams.
so then.
I would have to physically take this DVD that we get every week. I would have to physically take it, I'd have to put it in our computer, load it in there, do my thing, and let it upload to YouTube, and then activate it.
And Miami Township Trustees channel on YouTube.
Right.
That's pretty exciting.
No, yeah, it exists now, it's just not.
We're just using it.
Right.
No, but I think it's a great,
It's all about transparency.
yes.
Transparency and
Well, it's a
okay.
good option
It's
for.
okay
for
with me, we
folks.
don't have any secrets here.
Right, exactly.
Other than the four elf.
Behind that closed door.
Don't worry about it.
That's the elf.
Okay, now that we got that taken care of.
You know, we're still on communication.
Yeah. Emails from me to Gene Payne about Community Foundation, which I'm gonna get to in new business, just because I think it's interesting. Email from Mark Honville, Township Zoning Commission meeting minutes of August 18th, and the rest of the stuff. Any other correspondence in or out?
I have none.
All right, and we'll move on to fire department report, please.
Thank
Chief.
you. Since, let's kind of screw this in. Well, since the last meeting that wasn't, there have been 32 EMS incidents, 12 fire incidents, and 4 fire safety inspections. There have been a lot more since the actual last meeting. I didn't think to do that. Some updates on projects, since we're at the end of the year here. Well, there's really no difference in the fire station, so many updates. The ambulance, the new ambulance is on track for delivery in early to mid-March. Barring any problems in production, but there shouldn't be, I mean, but they always say. That's the disclaimer. So it's on track to be delivered on time. And then, the state of Ohio finally decided to release a repayment schedule to Beaver Creek for the local government innovation fund grant loan, that we all received 3 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
That got us on the marks. So we received a repayment schedule from Beaver Creek Township. There was a little typo in it where they referred to all the payments as monthly versus quarterly. Because we did the math, we were going to pay them monthly. The Dave Vandenboss has just closed on a new home at Country Club Lenore, I'm not sure. In this meeting's bills, there's the payment for the first quarterly payment, which was for this quarter of 2015, the fourth quarter of 2015, that Beaver Creek paid for all of us, because they wanted it right away. So we paid Beaver Creek. My understanding is the next quarterly payments will be to the state of Ohio directly, but I gotta verify that. I don't think Beaver Creek's gonna pay everything up front and then want us to pay it back. I think they just want us to send it directly to DAS, so. But I will double check that with Chief Annenboss before they're due on January 31st. So, and I'm trying to figure out what the schedule is. His schedule is not correct, so I gotta figure it out. But, I mean, we've been waiting for it, so. And it's still pretty cheap money for what we already get for it. But, once I finish, we approved it, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this on there. Budget, we'll have you know, our budget numbers for you, I guess, the second meeting of January, so we don't do it on the big meeting in the first, I mean, unless you want it then, but we don't have to get the meeting until April or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'll have it for the second meeting.
Okay.
I don't see any major changes from this year.
Mhm.
Got a lot of rollover money for the ambulance and that kind of stuff. We are getting a quote from a local contractor on revamping our fire department website. It hasn't had any vamping or revamping since it went live in 2007. So it's a little dated. Actually, it's really dated. And it was all released in the days before, Facebook and that kind of stuff, which are easier to maintain. So the company currently does a lot of work locally and regionally. They do the chamber's website and all their web banners and all that kind of thing, their logos. So they're giving us 2 quotes. One is for the website revamp, and then one is for, I guess for lack of a better term, like a branding campaign for a recruiting campaign. We've kind of struggled with recruiting materials and coming up with things that are relevant and professionally done to get people to join it. And they're going to give us support on working on that. So.
Ballpark number of revamping the website?
I'm still waiting on the quote. I don't know.
If you somehow would get a different firehouse in a year or two, then I'll have to redo it again.
Actually, what we asked for is something that would be easily updatable by us. They made a point to say, the old days, 5 years ago even, when you went to a web company, they were telling you, okay, we're going to charge you $30,000, and then you have to pay us $10,000 every year to update your website. And they said those days are gone because of things with social media that take place in a lot of the websites. So this is more of like a corporate presence and downloads, so you got forms on there and that type of stuff. And they would work with probably Denny and Jeremy to show them how to make the updates themselves, so we don't have to rely on them until 5-6 years down the road we decide we want a structural, redesign. So we'll see. I mean, if it's outlandish, obviously we won't do it. But
Yeah, I mean, I know you're working on your budget, and I certainly don't have to tell you, but you're not swimming in money, so, there's not like 50 grand floating around for
right.
new web design.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm anticipating a substantially, significantly lower number.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna take my blood pressure medication, so we'll see what happens.
I think Tony Arnett did ours for us in 2001, and I believe it was like $750. And it's held up.
Well, in 2008, when we had our 7, we had ours done, it was $1,600.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess it's oh, and then the housing assistance program. As y'all will recall, when we started that 2 years ago, we had three funded participants, positions, in the housing assistance program. It worked pretty well the first year, so we increased it to 6. Actually, we increased it to 7, but then we lost one, so we kept it at 6. And for this year, it's been a great success. I mean, we've had 6 people consistently in the program. They're listed there below. They covered 4,800 hours of schedule time, which works out to roughly an additional 2,600 hours more than that they would have normally covered if they're just meeting our regular monthly requirements.
And according to Trustee Sprackland, those $2,600 worked out to $2,600 hours worked out to be $5.75 an hour.
Okay.
Some ballpark. Cool. Pretty good.
Oh, okay, good. Good, yay! Really good. And in addition, it's allowed us, because volunteers have to do 32 hours a month, these guys have to do 72 hours a month as part of their payback of our money. We've had no problem, I mean, some fluctuations from month to month. One of the participants tore a muscle in her leg, was off for 3 weeks. So she couldn't do it during that, obviously, we weren't gonna get out there and live. But overall, I think it's been a great help. It's allowed us to keep, 2, 3, at least 3 or 4 of them in the township, so they're available for additional calls.
That's good.
And it hasn't broken the bank. we're not proposing increasing the number of people for next year. We're gonna pursue again, a safer grant through FEMA to see if, we can get that. And help cover the costs of the program. I'm hoping that they'll see that it's a unique thing. The program will be profiled in the next edition of the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association magazine. So I'm hoping all that will help convince the powers that be at DHS. It's worth it's a 5-year, it'd be a 5-year coverage through their grant, so,
That'd be awesome.
which would be nice.
$5 or $6 an hour to have one of these people living 2 doors down, that's kind of nice.
Exactly. It works out perfectly. Yeah, actually, they can just shoot right up Clifton Road, you get that 68 up Clifton, so you're covered, man. The rest of them will just bushwhack through the woods.
It was nice to have you on person, maybe, man.
So I've sent them all notices that it's time to reapply, they have to reapply every year. See also to look at their income and see if they've had any changes, because we did have, income.
Them reapplying to you and you reapplying to us, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll reapply, and they submit an application that's basically a financial disclosure to make sure that they're not exceeding the limits that we've set in terms of income, which were based on a county thing that we use for housing assistance, so a standard federal formula is what they told me. So we'll see, I mean, they've got till the first, because I think we started in February, so it kind of goes through to February, so we, I'll see, I know of 3 so far, who's like, they plan to resubmit for this coming year, so. I mean, I hope they all do, it's nice to have people, for lack of a better term, indentured to us.
Sure.
But it works out pretty well, so.
Okay, for the official part of the program, you are recommending that the board reinstitute,
Authorize?
reauthorize this program for next year?
Yes.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
I'll second. Any further discussion regarding that motion? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Spreckman?
Yes.
Mr. Beecher?
Yes. Thank you.
That's so odd, there's only 2 of you here.
Yeah.
Better than one.
Should try it with one.
That was a home day or a meeting. And that is, yeah, that's,
Okay, so as I understand, you paid roughly $4,600 to get a couple leaks in the roof, new leaks, is that right?
yes, Yes.
Was the original quote for more leaks or less than?
more.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the Copeland was contracted to do, the 3 parts of the roof that had traditionally leaked on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
Earlier than
A
ever.
straggler
And,
trustee.
oh,
Smart.
okay, well, I was thinking, Dave Copeland show.
Yeah.
So they did roof work on top of the ambulance bay here, which had 4 leaks in it. This part of the building, which if you were to measure during a rainstorm, you were leaking in multiple ways. And of course, above our office and your office, which I think actually the trustees' end was a little bit better than mine, there's a swamp on the roof. And, knock on wood, with this rain today, we haven't had a single problem. We checked all our problem areas. However, we did notice that the part that wasn't contracted, because we haven't had any leaks there, sprung several
Mark.
in this
Sorry,
rainstorm.
guys.
So I'm not sure if it was a ploy on their part to get more business to have them come back and do or what, but I think, we all know the roofs here aren't in great condition regardless. So staff went up on the roof today to look and see if there were any
Cookies and eggnog.
surprises, or any puddles or any clogged drain. The easy stuff that we can look at, and they're not, so. So we'll take a look when it's not raining and see if there's any things that are obvious, and we've got a couple members with a little bit of emergency roofing experience and some tar that we can apply ourselves in the areas of question. It was fun actually as we were watching, looking at the leak over one of the fire engines, another one started. It was like an episode or something, I don't even know what, but
Did you do anything about the insulation? It was soaked, moist, or soaked and molded?
Now the leak above my office and Jason Joe's office is done, that's phase 2, so we're doing our masks, hazmat suits, and start moving around replacing the ceiling tiles, so it doesn't look like some normal office work somewhere, so.
Do you keep your computer covered up, or does it need to be?
Not anymore. And actually, I looked down, never had a leak above my computer. It was always along this side wall here, so. As I said, so far it seems to be holding, we haven't had a problem on the areas that they did repair, so. I'm hoping that continues until one day we all wake up and there's a firehouse for us to move into.
I do want to apologize for being late, but the shop was open today and I forgot that today was Monday as a consequence. So I just kept working. Then I saw the call there, I thought, oh, I wonder what that's about.
It would throw you off.
So you thought you could find out what was going on?
No, I listened to Gail saying, do you have a meeting tonight?
Have you started your Medi-Account transition, software transition process yet?
Yes, Ben McDaniel's been working on that with that account. And, he's off this week, so I'm not sure where we're at with that. But, he was working on checklists that had to be built for the new software platform. So I think he's got that all done, so. I think we're on target for the January switch.
I was gonna say, he wanted it in January.
Yeah.
You still anticipate being able to make
As
that?
far as I know, yeah, we're still on target for that, so. And that should streamline everything.
Mhm.
Fantastically, wonderful way.
Good. All right, is that it?
That is all I got for you. Unless you have
Very
anything
much.
else for me.
Anything for Chief?
No, I was just curious as to what was happening at the BP the other day. So the truck had
Oh, yesterday, a car caught on fire. Mysteriously been parked there for an hour and a half, and then,
Just,
It's still there.
yeah, it's still there, so a little electrical fault.
to-
The downside of a car fire is it usually melts all the evidence, not, that's a criminal thing, but it melts everything, so you can't really tell what started it. So there's a classic code, it's an electrical fault, not otherwise specified, so. But it definitely was a shock to the poor guy who was working inside of his car, so,
Man, can you imagine?
would have been sitting, for an hour without any problem, so. But the guys were good, actually, the engine was out of the door, out the door with a crew of 4 in 1.5 minutes, and
Very good.
water on the fire within 4 minutes of getting the call, so.
amazing.
That is-
Near the, I didn't see it, near the,
No, thank God, that was my nightmare. It was sitting next to the building, like only the employees parking inside there, so.
But yeah, I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, they did a very nice job.
All right, shall we move along? Mr. Gogan, how are the things in the old cemeteries?
Yeah, let's see, it's our last official meeting,
Yes, it is.
yeah, since our last.
Oh, since our,
We had some burials since November 16th, was that the last time?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
We've had a few burials, some up here and one in Clifton,
Mhm.
but nothing this week. Nothing else with the whole team. We do it for care of it.
They go all right?
Just fine, 2 in one day. And then, it's still a little messy up there, but, as soon as
All right, Don.
finish getting it straightened up there,
Mhm.
it's pretty muddy. But I did the best I could to make it look a little better. That's all I did.
Yeah, so.
Do you still make the song, the green songs and letters?
Yeah.
Can we get some for the cemetery, for numericals? People say, what's the address of the cemetery, and I always use the one across the street.
Oh, yeah, we can do
But I
that.
didn't know if there's actual numerical for the cemetery, or...
We could do some research on that.
Really, I don't know.
No, it exists. how easy it can be to find it, I'm not really sure.
I
It
didn't
doesn't
know.
exist in the normal way. I mean, you can't just go to the
Right.
to the county website and look up that it doesn't have, it just says State Route 68.
Right, and so what's the
But there is a number floating around somewhere. I've seen some old records of a number, so.
Post office wouldn't have it.
That was my thought, I don't know if they would have, we probably have to have a mailbox, wouldn't we, to get a, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why you want a number. I mean,
Well, I've been using Hoskins and in Clifton, I use Palominos. I didn't know if there was an actual number, if there was, then I could get a sign and put it somewhere and.
Because I've been asked about the numerical, a number for Clifton.
Yeah, forget it, they used to, give me your address and, because they can GPS it or
Right,
whatever.
that's probably why, because they want you.
So I always just use that, and I tell them that's the address across the street,
Mhm.
but if we had actual, then I would get a sign and maybe somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, we
That
can
was
make those
just
up for you once you figure it out.
Yeah, that was just something I was
all
wondering.
right, well, let me look through, I'm not sure it's here, whether I've put it out in the records room or not.
I just was wondering if we could
Well,
find out if there was.
I, for Clifton, I don't know.
Well, Clifton's, it's kind of tucked away, it's not like gonna be, like you
Right.
go down 68, you can see,
Yeah.
Glen Forest, but Clifton, you gotta,
And that's, a lot of times they
People
want,
rating.
they want a numerical address, like, 4020 or whatever, and I
Mhm.
just give them one across the street, I guess I could continue doing that.
And in Yellow Springs, within the village, the cemetery, most of it sits,
No,
it's in the township, but the village may have a number for it, planning does that. They
would that
do,
be on Cemetery Street then?
it might be, I mean, they
So we'd
do,
need the one on 60.
they do planning, and planning does the addresses in town, and I think regional planning does it for township addresses, so.
Mhm.
I mean, they can assign an address to it too, based on
Right.
the
Well, they
range
could.
of series, so.
Oh, we
Regional
could get
planning.
one if it
Well,
doesn't
that's
exist.
just something I want to ask, if there was something, if
Okay.
you think
Well,
it's
let-
feasible or something, and then we just continue going away.
Well, let me look in to see what I can get. Because I'm pretty sure they assigned Glen Forest East an address back when they were doing the survey work, because the state had to have an address in order to make everything official.
See, that would be two different signs we'd use.
And I think I've got that one. Across the street, might be a little harder, but I
I
don't know.
mean, would we have two different numbers, one for
Yes,
that?
it would be
Yeah,
two
maybe.
different numbers, yes.
I just, to make it easier for them bringing us
Mhm.
people.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, so far they found us, but, it's easier if they can punch it in sometimes, it'll take you right, turn left in 200 feet, have a phone call and stuff, with Garmin.
Yeah, and that's what, that's something that I just never thought of until you mentioned it, GPS.
Well, our regulars, they know where they're going, like Jackson, Idaho,
Yeah.
Porter Falls, they know, and but some of those newcomers,
But
and the
others,
others, they don't
yeah.
know.
I was
or
asked
even
for,
visitor, people who wanna visit.
Right,
or
they can
wanna
actually-
attend a
right.
funeral and don't know where it is.
and that was the question that I had about putting that direction sign in Clifton for.
Mhm.
People need an address so they can vote too,
That might help.
so their friends can vote for them.
Is there a special precinct number?
This isn't Chicago, this isn't
Run with
Chicago.
that.
Absentee. Oh, that,
It started with the post office, they should.
okay, that answers my question, we'll check it. Don't have much more, still gonna work on stones when we get a chance. Straighten them up.
Did you bring your log for this period and the last meeting with you tonight?
No.
What's up with that?
I'll do one Thursday.
This is the last meeting, I thought you promised me those burial transits by the end of the year.
Something weird.
This is the last official meeting. You would officially be
Be
handing them over to the board.
I missed my mark.
That reminded me, that I went in to get, and you guys weren't here at the last meeting, because we didn't have a last meeting, but
All right.
I'm following up a way to try and keep up with burials and the records, and so we can keep them, keep them relatively current. And what I had thought was, with the timesheet that Dan turns in every 2 weeks, what we might do is add, just add a line at the bottom that says how many burials for Glen Forest and how many burials for Clifton. And then we would require him to attach that information onto the timesheet, and then it would be up to date for, at least that period of time. Instead of having a separate form and, a separate deal. What do you think?
But for entering it into the computer program, you have information already generated by like the deed and that sort of thing.
Well, that's separate, that would be for the sale of
But it would
of a
go
lot.
into that information would go into the computer program. I was thinking about if you have a new burial, how does that information get into the overall system?
Yeah, you enter in the sale, we sell a lot, or a couple graves, and then whoever we bury, you enter that in when they're buried.
Right, yeah.
And I'll just copy the transit permit and hang it to the back of that for each one, is that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And of course, and where you put them.
Well, I'd make a copy and keep them in a burial transit permit file.
Yeah.
And then you would have that on the timesheet to enter into your, right.
Right, yeah, exactly. All right, I've got a clean copy of this somewhere, so, you good with this?
Yeah,
You
that
good
looks
with
good.
this? Okay, all right, very good. We'll start that next time. You got anything else cemetery-wise?
Well, you'll just print some of them up for me, so I'll have them, or you'll have them on things so I can do.
Yeah, or I'll give the master, and, I've replaced all your ink out there, you can just copy it, or.
Yeah, if it's on there, I can pull it up and print some off.
Mhm.
I'll start using them soon as, first of the year or whatever. No, I don't think I have any, having any info on the buildings, we haven't heard anything.
Apparently, and I wasn't able to get up there, because I just got this today, apparently you have some manner of critter, not breathing anymore.
Oh, was that in the new section? Is that like a stripped out deer?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, I seen something laying back there, and I think that's what it
Stripped down.
is. Yeah, the buzzards or
Coyote.
vultures
okay.
drug something, a carcass out. I thought I'd seen it laying kind of in the road out of corner. of my eye. I
Yeah,
thought
we had a
something-
concerned citizen make an inquiry
I'll
as
go
to
up there tomorrow and make it right.
make it go away.
I thought that, I saw
Where- where's this
something kind of in the road, and I thought, I wonder if it's
In the new section.
yeah,
Glen Forest.
yeah, I'll take care of that.
Again, that's something that you never would think of. At least I wouldn't.
Well, if I drove through there, I wouldn't have a better look, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, I said, something's laying in the road.
Mhm.
That's what it might be.
At some point, when the time seems right, I know Mr. Cooper passed away recently, but they got those trees back there that need to be, the ones that are threatening to fall in the new building.
Mr. Cooper passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
uh,
Were the ones that you're
funeral
talking
a
about,
couple
were
weeks ago.
they on along the south drive? 'Cause I took two of them down that were sticking out that
They
way.
were on Cooper's land, but they're dead ash trees, and they have the potential to fall on the
What we
building
would
if
put
we
together.
ever, when we get it
Oh, we're
built.
talking about the Clifton Cemetery
Right.
now.
Yeah. So you might sometime, boy, the ground's froze, when you get over there, people stop and speak to her about, get permission, kind of work on getting that done here then, before it gets soft this spring,
If it ever-
before we get the building up. For sure.
If it gets sold, not gonna use it. Yeah, I'll do this.
The only other thing, I sent a message to John Hudson and told him that he had sent me something and said he was still interested in those potential plots around his parents in Glen Forest, and I said, and he was going out of town until first part of January, and I said, when you're actually interested in purchasing something, I told him at this point, just go ahead and contact you, because there was just no sense of having it go through me.
Right.
So at some point, you may get that call, and that's why, and you can just handle it however way.
I'll just leave the flag, you're still there, I'll just leave
Yeah.
it for what's not hurt anything.
Did you ever probe those?
Yeah, I proved everything, yeah. I didn't get anything. The one I hit some, I think it was just a root. 'Cause it went right by it.
Those two that I thought there might be somebody there, you don't think there's anybody there? Okay,
I didn't find anything.
yeah,
If they're ashes, I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't think there's anything there. I think we found eight or 10 graves possibly.
yeah,
Quite a few.
yeah, depending upon how close we wanna get to the road.
Okay.
This is kind of, it's almost housekeeping, but I think it needs to be addressed in public anyway. This past year, as we all know, everyone knows, we've been working on entering all this grave information into the Pontum cemetery software, which we were granted by the Yellow Springs Historical Society through a grant that they received through the Yellow Springs Community Foundation. And when the foundation grants money to for different projects, they request just a couple of very small things, and one of them is a summary of work that has, summary of what's been done with the money over some period of time, and we just kind of made a 2015 deadline of getting that information back to we, the Historical Society, and in conjunction with the Board of Trustees. So that report is about to go to the Community Foundation from the Historical Society, because that grant came to them. But they asked me, or us, to kind of give them an overview of the work that we had done this year. So I wrote them a small blurb to include, if they wanted to, in that report, and I just thought for purposes of public distribution, I would just read that this evening. So bear with me for just a couple of minutes. And I'm writing to Gene Payne, who's making this report to the foundation, and I'm saying, please feel free to use the following information and edit it as you wish. And so it says, through the efforts of Gene Payne, a board member of the Yellow Springs Historical Society, Letha Kimball, a board member of the Clifton Union Cemetery Board, Scott Schilling, a team leader for a Boy Scout Eagle project that's ongoing, and myself, much progress has been made during 2015 towards digitizing the records of cemeteries in Miami Township. Through December 15th, 2015, over 13,000 data entries have been made into this Pontum Cemetery software, which was made available by Community Foundation and the Historical Society. This data includes all known grave owners and all known burials in Glen Forest Cemetery, Glen Forest Cemetery East, Natural Burial Grounds, the private Grinnell Family Cemetery, Pleasant Grove Cemetery, and approximately a third of Clifton Union Cemetery. In addition to the names and locations of the intern, hundreds and hundreds of birth dates, death dates, genealogical information regarding the cause of death, place of death, type of burial, and photographs of individual tombstones have been entered into the database. This work is an ongoing effort as time permits. An interesting side note to the work was a discovery of almost 400 previously unknown, undocumented, and unmarked burials in Glen Forest Cemetery. These were discovered by researching old journals that contain the death records of the cemetery from the late 1800s through the 1960s. Also, it was discovered that there were approximately 300 unsold grave sites in Glen Forest Cemetery that are now being made available to the public. And to be sure that these sites did not contain any of the unrecorded burials, all the available space was physically checked with ground-penetrating radar, which happened to reveal about 35 previously unknown burial sites. It is the hope of the Board of Miami Township that eventually, in collaboration with other interested entities, all of these records will eventually be made available online to the general public. This would not be possible without the efforts and generosity of the Community Foundation and the Yellow Springs Historical Society. The Board of Trustees wish to extend its heartfelt gratitude for their efforts and foresight given by these organizations. I signed it for the board and your name. So that was submitted to the lady in the Historical Society who's writing the note. So I just thought, I wanted to have that made public.
That represents a lot of work. Thank you, and
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah,
the work you've done, writing that letter. Appreciate it.
my pleasure. Okay, anything else for the cemetery? How about roads? What's the old roads look like?
No, they're not too bad.
Good, that's the way we like them.
Potholes are filled, a couple little spots, but nothing.
Yeah, the meeting we didn't have, Dan was here, and I just had mentioned to him that hopefully we had enough cold patch to take care of some potholes around that were hanging in there. And I believe the next day or so, we went out and filled, and did you roll them? Because I saw the roller was out.
I used to, no, village roll, I
Oh.
used to truck.
Okay.
But yeah, I roll them, I
Yeah,
used to truck.
right. So anyway, he did that, and appreciate that work.
And we burnt the pit.
Did you?
Yeah, it was taken care of, and like I said, we got salt in, so we got
Mhm.
75 tons of salt. We have 75 more in that township if we ever gonna need it. If we don't need it, they'll hold on to it till we do. So, they don't have it in yet, I mean, we got ours, and then they got some, and they only got half of theirs, and we got ours. When they get more, then we've got 75, 700, no matter what.
Well, so far, so good.
Yep.
How much have you spread so far, Dan?
How much have I spread?
Yeah, how much salt?
Just what I spilled in front of the bin.
Now, how much did you use last year?
120, around 120.
So
So
this
did
year
you
was
wait till you
75,
get this
maybe.
guy used up, then get a semi-load straight from wherever instead of having it hauled from them?
Well, the problem is, we can't have big trucks can't dump in our place, that's why we have it trucked into. And I think the counties, they're selling it, but I don't think it's gonna be long, I don't think we're gonna get through it anyway. It's quicker,
Where do you go get it?
used to go to the county.
Yeah, I
County
know.
garage.
Where's this salt now coming from?
That township.
There's salt barn out there?
Yeah, but where are they getting it from?
I don't know, it's coming out to Toledo or somewhere.
Oh,
It's being trucked into them. They can haul, the big trucks can dump at their place. And
but you're talking about semi, if you get a tandem, 2 or 3 axles,
it'd be tough dumping in our building with that. They'd have to dump some, and I'd have to push it up. So it's just, it's,
it's easier for you to go get it.
I just run over there and get it versus, it's like possibly a half-hour turnaround versus going to the county for an hour. And sometimes the county trucks roll in, you gotta wait till they come first. So it's beneficial. But we're covered for this year, next year. Wishful thinking.
What else?
No, not much till first of the year, I'm gonna get busy, do some tree trimming, cut some big trees down, kind of stuff.
Okay.
As long as the weather's like it is now, rainy, I'm just gonna work around the shop, take care of some
Paperwork.
unfinished business, as in paperwork. That's all I have.
I had written this down for the last meeting that we didn't have, but I just wanted to let you know that through the hard working efforts of the Board of Trustees, the elected officials of Miami Township, Mr. Sprackman, Mr. Crockett, and myself, that apparently Miami Township has been earmarked for $1.6 million worth of road repair on Route 343 for 2016.
Oh,
So we'll be looking forward to that work.
Oh, they moved it up to 16?
Well,
Wasn't it supposed to be 18?
that's still just the minor,
All they're gonna do the bad spots,
Mhm.
fix them,
Mhm.
fix everything before they came in.
yeah, that sounds like an awful lot of money, but
There's an awful lot of work to be
Yeah,
done
yeah.
before if they're gonna.
it might include the stuff they have for 370 plan too, I'm not sure, but I had the indication it might have been, but I'm not sure.
There'll be some on 370.
Yeah,
They just replaced the culvert down at the
Mhm.
park,
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
big culvert too.
they didn't close the road, but they did get it replaced.
Mhm.
An interesting presentation at the last MBRPC meeting by another member of ODOT, and this was a statewide overview of how they repair roads and how they decide to repair them, and what they do to repair them, and what they the changes that they've made. But the point that I found particularly interesting is, beginning in 2016, one of the tools that they're going to use to repair the roads, state roads in Ohio, to extend the life of them is, drum roll please, they're beginning a chip and seal of state highways.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And
With a bulb?
a lot. They're talking about doing 700 miles of chip seal
With bulb, I'm sure.
in District 8 alone. I mean, I don't think District
Chip
8's
seal
gonna.
road,
Huh?
really.
Yeah.
Highway.
I can see it would work, it's a wear surface. I mean, it makes a nice wear surface. If you fog it, it'll hold up even longer.
But, I mean, but state highways are traditionally, I mean, they're relatively
Smooth.
and well-traveled. I mean, you know, the life of that chip seal just doesn't seem to be like it would.
If you can seal it down with like the sealer.
Well, they're gonna find out.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out. So, that was interesting, I thought.
Well, hopefully the technology will improve and spill over into our usage.
Because you plow a lot of that off, and you chip if you don't seal it, I mean, you plow a lot of it, and then, you know, they run, a lot of heavy stuff. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I had. Anything else for our road road person?
Bird
It's that old
That's what I use.
That's what it says on the paper, isn't
I know.
Position description, road guy.
it? Road
All right, let's move to our fiscal officer for the evening.
Okay, we have two. We have a residual resolution that was prepared for the meeting we didn't have, and we have to get another one. So the whole of amendments here, if you tally them up for both meetings. And the amendments are as follows. I'm gonna try, I might be combining some of these, well, maybe not, anyway. In the general fund, we increased travel and meeting expenses by 1,000.
Which resolution is this? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, 2015-26, the
Okay.
first one.
Okay, gotcha.
Road and Bridge, we increased Social Security. But if you combine both resolutions, we can increase Social Security by $100, Medicare by $110, garbage and trash removal by $121, and salaries increased by $600. In the Glen Forest Cemetery Fund, we increased salaries by $1,100, electricity by 50 cents.
Are you serious?
Do you want me to keep track of the expenses? And contracted services, we increased that by $4,630. In the fire fund, we increased salaries by $1,400, repairs and maintenance by $1,006, travel and meeting expenses by $860, and advertising by $90. And was board, reminding Township Trustees and authorize the fiscal officer to do so immediately. See how I add those
You're
together?
talking
Yeah,
about
I can see.
two resolutions?
Yeah, I knew that some of them were, you know, so I was flipping back and forth. I'm sorry, I was a little, probably,
So
It's a
you
little
want a
disjointed,
motion?
but-
I'm sorry, yeah, I
We
should
need
have
a
done that.
motion to approve both of them or just one
Both of them would be great.
at the same time?
Let's do one at a time. I think
Yeah,
that's-
sorry, yeah, the narrative was
More efficient.
combined, but
I'm
they're
good with
separated
that.
into two different.
We
Wait a
adopt
minute, I got one little item of discussion before we do.
Okay.
I just can't wait till the next audit report, and Ahmet's here, and he's talking about, we noticed there was a 50-cent increase in
How else can I
electricity.
pay the bill if I had to where the money had to come from and I was short 50
Right.
cents?
I think Mr. Spratlin had a motion to make.
For-
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2015-26
Yes, please.
with, we'll leave it there. Next time, you might make it $1 instead of 50 cents.
Well, then we have an extra 50, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Be approved as is here. Later
All
on,
right,
change it.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion regarding the adoption of the motion, or adoption of resolution 2015-26? Hearing none, may we vote, please?
Mr. Crockett,
Yes.
Mr. Mucher,
Yes.
Mr. Sprackman?
Yes,
And now entertain a motion, I can't speak, entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2015-27.
Yes, please.
And
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr.
A
Crockett
second.
moves, and Mr. Sprackman seconds. Is there any further discussion regarding adoption of resolution 2015-27? Hearing none, may we vote, please?
Mr. Sprackman?
Yes.
Mr. Crockett?
Yes.
Mr. Mucher?
Yes.
Thank you.
How you change the order?
Thank you.
I keep you guys on your toes. I don't have any other,
What is our tentative schedule for any insurance visits if we are going to have any
Oh,
insurance visitors?
yeah, thank you. I
And
basically.
can we not have any insurance visitors? But,
We're probably gonna have 3. And, and I did, suggest that they come to the second meeting, which would be the, let's see, there's a holiday in there. I think it's the 20th of January is when the second meeting is. And, again, because of the first meeting being so lengthy. If you want to spread them out over 2 meetings,
I do not want multiple insurance people here. I mean, that's just my own
so
personal
that
thing.
answer is yes, you would like that.
Yes, I personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but I just don't like this back and forth and,
You don't, yeah, you
tit
don't want
and
them
tat
to.
and all that.
so we're going up to the end of February then.
Well,
We
we
have
have,
three
no,
and-
we have to know, we can't, I mean, I think, our VFIS thing expires February 10th, I think, or something like that. So I will get somebody to come in the first meeting, whoever's ready.
I personally would suggest that we look at that we get the prices prior to these meetings
Okay,
and perhaps decide, the top 2. I don't see any reason to see 3 different, 3 different.
okay, well,
Bids.
so I will then, I'll contact everybody and ask them to send their quotes ahead. And,
Well, we did that last year, I believe, didn't we?
I think we had 2 here,
Yeah.
and 1 didn't make it. We did have 2 here.
Yeah, we had Darlene and Wells Fargo or something.
Thomas, it might have been Thomas Welsh or Rob, I think it's Thomas Welsh. Yeah, it was the Otama guy. So, I can certainly navigate that situation to your liking.
First meeting, February is February 1.
Okay, well, I'll contact them this week or, ASAP and let them know that that the trustees prefer to have the quotes in writing, not necessarily present at a meeting. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Because I mean, obviously, our main concern is cost, so.
Right.
And
That's, I don't see there would be any problem with that. We can tell them what we want and we'll just get
January
it.
meeting's the 18th, is that a holiday?
Yeah, so we
Right.
can
It'll be
Okay.
Wednesday, 20th, right?
Right, yeah.
Martin.
Martin.
And we've worked progressively over the years, as I recall, Colin, where BFIS is progressively more and more expensive than the other quotes that come in. And if that, if that is basically the same way this year, we want to look closely at whether it's equal coverage for more money and can we get it?
Yeah.
Because, at some point, it's just really difficult to justify
Oh, no, I
um,
understand.
spending that additional money. Okay. Thank you, Margaret.
I will do that.
Any further further questions back and forth, anything from Margaret, anything you'd like from her? No? Thank you. Zoning Richard isn't here, was here last week, or last time. We had a brief informal discussion with a few residents of Grinnell Circle. Glen Drive, I don't know if anyone lived down there. But regarding Glen House and just the general operation and the process of making sure that there wasn't events going to happen in the future, and I think Richard has taken care of almost all of those issues that they had to their satisfaction. At least we don't have any complaints since then. We have sent out the yearly gift cards that we do to the zoning commission. Those have been sent to each commission member. Did you receive your new bond? I just want to make sure I might. Is
No,
there one?
got them all.
Oh, okay.
I did.
We, yeah, we got them all.
You responded.
I've never seen
think
it.
they put it
I've
in-
never seen it.
Well,
But
it's
you
in the
might
drawer.
have-
It's in there if you want, it's in the safe if you want to look at it.
Oh, that's a,
I
Yeah,
was
we
sworn
paid for them,
in.
we paid for them last meeting.
I was sworn in at the Township Association meeting a couple weeks ago
As a what?
as a trustee.
How'd they do that there?
They do that every year.
Don't we usually do it here?
We do, but I just happened to have the bond with me that night, and they had forms that were laid out, and Judge Steve Wolver swore us in on us, and he filled out all the forms for us, so.
Okay.
So
I need to be sworn in.
you need to be sworn in, but I won't.
Margaret, the 1st of April, or now?
First of April.
We do it all the same time. She does that. You do that for me, right?
You can ask anyone that you wish to be sworn in. It doesn't have to be Margaret, it doesn't have to be anybody. You could bring in
Your grandson.
Cindy, or your grandson. Or you could ask President Obama to stop by and do it.
Sure.
We got that really nice cookies for that one.
You might still be in Hawaii.
I might pass on that.
They aren't nice cookies.
There, that's good.
No, they're not, we're just saying the business.
So anyway, I just want to remind
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's got this bond that just,
Yeah, I
little
mean,
ducks in order here.
I believe it, yeah. Okay, we'll put that in there.
All right, zoning. I think we're at the new business this evening.
Are we skipping standing reports?
Oh, wait a minute. I did. Let's skip right over those.
We can.
TC meeting, this is the part of the evening that I don't like because then I have to remember. I didn't bring it with me. It was a good meeting. It's a very good meeting. We talked about a lot of good stuff. And one of these days I'm going to remember what the good stuff was. Now, the other two, I can definitely remember because I was not able to attend the regional planning meeting this past month, so that's gonna be a difficult one. So then I'm gonna roll this over to Mr. Crockett and see if he has any information about the Senior Citizen Center or the Clifton Union Cemetery, or the first, no, not that, not the community resources, but the reconstituted economic. Did you get any information about the Economic Sustainability Commission?
No.
Because apparently they're back in business and met, so.
No, I didn't get any information. And as far as the senior center or the Clifton Union Cemetery, I don't have any updates on either one of those. Although my plan for the starting first of the year is to be more directly involved with the senior center. At this point, I've only been looking at the potential affordable senior housing. So,
Maybe on the chair volleyball team.
do they have a chair on?
Okay. Guess that's it for.
Do you still have to dive for the ball?
No, you say your chair.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll move on to new business. Any new business this evening? Lamar, anything going on? Nope. Mark? Old business tonight? Oh, the mill. I'm gonna back up to the mill just briefly. if anybody remembers last year, we decided there is a corrosion problem with the roof of the mill, and that has not yet been addressed, but last year, there was a special roof repair assessment that was put on the bed and breakfast for the repair of the mill, and they paid an additional $3,000 in that assessment towards the repair, the eventual repair of the mill. And once again, in 2015, there was another $3,000 assessment to the bed and breakfast to make another, contribution towards that repair. So now, a total of $6,000 in addition to their monthly maintenance fee. They've still obviously all paid all along the $215 per month in their normal maintenance fee. But in addition to that, now there's an additional $6,000 that's been paid towards correcting the roof problem when
So what
that
was
happens.
the estimate on repair?
It hasn't, we're not there yet.
Okay.
So it'd be more than 6,000. If this was 45.
Well, when the roof was put on both parts of the mill, the small addition and the main overhead part, it was $5,600 for the new roof. And it's gonna entail taking this roof off and building up air channels somehow, and then putting the roof back on, so air can move.
The same roof?
No.
No, it'd be metal, right?
Yeah.
But did this have insulation sandwiched in?
Mm-hmm.
The panels do, it's
But the new one
insulation,
will
and
not
then
be that
they
one?
put on top of that, that's where they put the little strips or whatever, and those aren't big enough to let air flow through above that panels with it, that's the problem. So that's what they have to remove.
So, that's something to look forward to. All right,
So
so
it's
that.
gonna be the same roof that's there, only the channels will be bigger?
Mhm.
So it's gonna be
Same
insulation?
type of roof, not-
Sandwiched.
That'll all still be there, it's just where they put the roof on top with the lat boards or whatever you wanna call them, they're not big enough, so they have to go with a bigger lat board to create a bigger space between the metal and the panels, so the air moves through there.
Who did that?
Chris Moore.
Chris Moore.
Is he gonna redo it?
Jim has asked him to get a price on what it would cost. Yeah. He may not do it, but I would assume that.
I would think he would maybe give a little bit of discount.
he might.
You know?
Okay, any new business then? We're not having any old business. Before we adjourn, I just thought I'd take 1 second and remind just us and the general public that it was very close to a year ago that our former trustee, John Eastman, passed away quite suddenly in the morning. You remember the date? Was it the 27th? That sticks in my mind for some reason.
Think so.
Yeah. I was just thinking about him today, that, it's strange how things happen in a world, yeah. 2 years ago tonight, we were saying goodbye to Lamar and toasting his good health and happiness for the future, and looking forward to John coming in, and, this all happened, and so now we'll now toast to your swearing in at the next meeting, and look forward to.
I feel kinda odd or strange filling this seat, but what do you do?
Well, the first thing is that we take back any good wishes.
I'll
that
bring my
we-
hat. You can give it to me next time.
So with that, I'll wish everyone a very happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and we'll see everyone this year. We will see
Lord willing,
we will see every single one of you
Yeah.
on, what's the date?
the fourth.
The 4th, on January 4th, 2016. Oh my
There.
goodness. Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
I'll be like, welcome.
Yeah.
Too late?
No, you won't.
No, it's not too late.
No,
Don't leave where you are. This is, my final meeting of 2015, and I forgot to say one thing. It was so interesting when Margaret and I and Howard and Cindy were at the holiday party. December, whatever it was, and we haven't met since then, so I keep forgetting to do this, and it just, I felt so like, you know, it was an alternate universe. It was walking in and seeing that we were at first it was walking in and seeing that we were at the Yellow Springs Fire Department holiday party. I thought, oh, that's not right. And I walked in and I looked around and everybody, I said to myself, man, it looks more like I'm at St. Andrew's Prep School Cotillion or something like that. You know, the first holiday party I went to here, actually I was not invited to, as I recall, but I got a phone call at 10 o'clock at night, waking me up and saying, Chris, you're gonna come down here and bring a check to pay these people, or they won't let us out of here.
Wow.
So I got a bed, and I don't know where I got the check, but I hauled up to the Outdoor Education Center, or, is that what it was? Yeah, no, it was,
Oh, man, that
Yeah,
was a horrible one that
yeah, right.
someone else organized.
So I went in there, and here's all these people, good Lord. I mean, you got Mikey Kanda, and you got Don Rudolph, and you got, you know, Ralph Overton, you got David Lee sitting there, you know, and you got little pup, you know, you got little pup Chief Collins sitting in the corner, not knowing what to do. And then fast forward to this last meeting, you know, and here's all these little young sprouts, so they've all got ties on and cashmere sweaters, and they're all dressed up, and the girls got fur coats on and stuff, and they're walking up there, you know, and here's crusty old headmaster Colin Allman at the front of the table going, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," like that. I said, man, things have really changed around here.
Crusty, wow.
Crusty old headmaster Allman.
Next year I'll paint myself up with
So-
black robe outfits to wear, it looks like a Harry
So-
Potter character.
What did you think? What did you think?
I think they're great.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, and I apologize for not being there again.
Yeah.
Next year we're sending someone to come get you.
I'll tell you,
We were gonna strap them on the
you
back of the
get
car.
behind and everybody's yelling at you, like, you know, they're,
At work. you
yeah,
call that.
yeah, Mary's going, well, I'm okay as long as you don't tell me it's not a problem. I'm going, how does that help? You know, I mean, but
I
anyway,
won't miss one.
All right, well, 2016, we have resolutions, and that'll be our resolution, to get Mark to the party in
Lamar.
one piece.
on time.
I'll be there.